Thanks for tapping into this episode of Untapped Keg, a special one where it's just me. It's going to be a short one. We're going to hit it quick, kind of do a little bit of coaching, but it's not necessarily straight coaching. I have not drank in 11 years. I am a self-discovery after alcohol coach. I am also doing a feelings and emotions challenge in January that is free, that is 30 days of getting emails about, some how to understand your emotions and feelings, how to be able to use them, some journal prompts, and then weekly clarity calls. And all of that is free. Sign up at untappedkeg.com/emotions. Starting January 1st, going through the month of January. If you're not going to drink in January, why not get to understand yourself a little bit better? And honestly, that's how I approach all of this. And the reason that we wanted to record this episode today is for this upcoming week, which is Christmas. Holidays can be a very emotional time, right? Very stressful. It can be difficult, especially if you're just stopping drinking. Like, how are you going to be able to show up without drinking? And the truth is, that's up to you. It's going to look different, right? So I'll give you some tips in this episode. We'll talk about kind of some things that I've heard have worked in other people's journeys, some things that have worked in my own. But just having that understanding, number one, it's going to be different. Different doesn't mean bad. It's just going to be different. And that's okay. Let it be. So having that self-honesty, again, that self-honesty and that awareness, that is so key when it comes to healing and growing, when it comes to understanding yourself. You can only understand yourself as much as you're willing to be honest with yourself, right? That's me taking a quote and bastardizing it a little bit, but the amount of healing that you can do is proportional to the amount of honesty you can accept about yourself. So understand it's going to be different. It might have looked one way for so long. Now it's just going to look not the same. I didn't use the word different there, did I? So I changed it up on you. Exactly. Different words, same meaning. Showing up differently, same meaning. Same things, right? Like it's kind of a metaphor. Like, you can still show up as yourself, just going to look a little bit different, just going to sound a little bit different. Maybe things will seem like they take longer. So something to remember when you go into Christmas is that it's okay to have a craving. It's okay to be triggered. What does trigger mean? It's a heightened emotional response. What is a craving? A heightened want to do a behavior such as drink alcohol, right? Such as have a shit ton of sugar. That's okay. All right. Weigh your options. Should I have a lot of sugar today or drink? I think I would rather have the sugar and work that off, even though neither is particularly healthy. That's okay. Which one is better for me right now in this moment? And don't be too hard on yourself, right? Be willing to show up in a way that you can look at that next day and be proud of. How can you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. You're welcome for asking the question for you. I'm teasing. Oh, I'm full of piss and vinegar today. And I know where that comes from. And every single time I look it up, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I forget again. Anyways, is that a Wisconsin or like a Midwestern thing? I feel like it is in the United States. So one thing that you can do to be able to show up as yourself, show up how you want to show up, to look at tomorrow, you wake up and you're like, I am proud of the way that I showed up. I showed up as me. I showed up how I want to show up. Take breaks. Nobody said you have to be physically present for the entire time Christmas is going on with your family. Take breaks. And maybe that break looks like skipping this year, by the way. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Come up with any excuse that you need to. Like, maybe you aren't feeling good. Okay. right? Just give yourself that chance. But taking breaks can look like taking a walk, just going to a different room for a little while, going and taking a nap. You get to have moments where you compose yourself. Maybe it looks like going to the gas station. Oh, hey, I need to get something to drink, and I'm not a big fan of what's here right now. I'm gonna go to the gas station real quick. Hey, I'll come with you. No, it's okay. I want to do this alone. Can I get you something? Right? Or, yeah, you can come along. Just don't talk. Just don't talk. I don't want to talk. That is something that you can do and will help you to be able to navigate whatever it is you're feeling. So, another thing that you can do is set those boundaries beforehand. Hey, this is my first Christmas that I'm not drinking. I'm I don't want to be in a space where everybody else is drinking, so can we just say no to alcohol? If somebody says, "Oh, I can't do that." Okay, that's fine. Then as soon as you start drinking, I'm going to leave. Right? You're just setting it up like this is going to help me, and yeah, you can't go through the entire Christmas without drinking. That's fine. You get to make the choice that's best for you. I'm going to make the choice that's best for me. So if I get there and you're drinking, walking right back out. You're setting things up. You're setting yourself up for success. I have a client that is what she did. I'm not going to be here unless nobody's drinking because I can't be around that right now. Guess what? Everybody was like, it's okay. And not everybody's going to be like, it's okay. So that's why you have the, hey, I can't do that. Okay. Then let's just 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I can be there. And then as soon as it happens, okay. Like you then give yourself, is it a cutoff time? As soon as somebody starts drinking, I'm gone. Or is it 30 minutes after people start drinking? I'm going to go. An hour after people start drinking, I'm going to go. You don't have to stay for dinner. You can get food, right? You can bring food home. You can do different things. It's going to look different. And this could be one of the things that looks different. Make it work for you. Set yourself up for success. Okay. One of the best things that you can do, and it's something that no matter what you do, this could be for New Year's, this could be for any event that you go to after you stop drinking, or you're just choosing a healthy relationship with alcohol, which maybe it looks like you're drinking a hell of a lot less. Um, Bring the drink that you enjoy to the party because then you don't have to worry about what they have for options. And guess what? When you bring drinks to somebody else's party, they are not going to say no. They're going to say thank you, right? Because now they don't have to worry about it. And you're setting yourself up for success because you enjoy the taste of what is there. You enjoy what you are having. And that is so important. It's not just water, not just soda, not just tea. There's so many delicious non-alcoholic drinks out there. So many delicious ones. And that doesn't even begin with like NA beer, NA wine, NA tequila, whiskey, gin, those types of mixed drinks, right? You can go to like different flavors of seltzer water, different juices, different just concoctions that are being made. That different, like they're just different drinks that are mixed in a can, right? They give you a complex flavor profile that tastes amazing that you can enjoy. Bring that so that you can. And, to kind of wrap this in a bow, you don't have to stay the entire time, which I kind of alluded to with the, hey, I don't want to be there unless you drink, right? Like that boundaries kind of a thing that you set. And we don't have to call it boundaries. We can just say, these are some rules that I'm going to set for myself. Okay. These are some lines that when they hit, when it gets past that line, okay, it's time for me to go. Like that's what we're talking about. So you don't have to stay the whole time. You used to stay 8 hours. You don't have to stay 8 hours. You can stay 2. Sometimes we put way too much emphasis on the quantity of time we spend somewhere as that's the qualifier for success. I used to stay for 8 hours. I have to stay for 8 hours this time. Who says? Right? Would your parents, family members appreciate that? Would they like that? Yeah, maybe. But if you're sitting there just not having fun, just like forcing yourself through it, are you really good company to be around? Is it worth it? Do they really want that version of you for 8 hours? Probably not. And you don't want the best that version of you for 8 hours. You don't want to be in that mindset for 8 hours because you're going to look back and be like, that sucked. And you're going to say it's because you didn't drink alcohol. But is it really because you didn't drink alcohol? No, it's because I was in this mindset, in this mood. So don't define the success based on how you showed up for that entire 8 hours because you had to do it all in a similar fashion and have just as much fun. It's going to be different. Go for two. Enjoy yourself, like that quality of time. The success should be I loved how I showed up. I loved how I felt. I loved that I got through this and I didn't feel like a burden. I didn't feel like a sourpuss. I had a good time and they had a good time. Success. Did it have to be 8 hours to get that success? No, it did not. So give yourself an escape route. Give yourself, oh, I got to leave, right? Don't, hey, can you pick me up and not have a place where you can take a break or be able to get away or have, leave early, right? You're doing things that are best for you. So in that, drive yourself, have Uber ready to go. Know what it's going to take to say that and know that you don't necessarily have to say goodbye. A text message, hey, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm leaving. I love you. I'll see you whenever. I'll see you next. Right? Like that is perfectly acceptable. Is it the best way? I mean, it depends on who you're asking. You ask an introvert, yeah. Yeah, that is the best way. You ask an extrovert and they're like, well, no. How could I not say goodbye? But if you ask an introvert, they're like, yeah, that was fantastic. That's amazing. Let's do that again. So understand that, yes, like disappointing people doesn't equate to you being a disappointment. Let's say that again because that one just hit myself, right? Disappointing people does not equal you are a disappointment. It just means that people were disappointed in that moment in time. And you can feel bad for that without feeling like you were the disappointment. It just means that they wish they had more, that they wish it was a little bit different. And be honest too. If you feel safe enough, if you feel like they're going to be understanding, I felt like I really wanted to drink, so I had to leave to be by myself. Guess what? Nobody's going to be mad at you for that. If they are, they're telling on themselves. And that's giving you some good information to use. Hey, maybe less time with that. Maybe, think about what you just said there, and I'll let you think on it. And the next time I'm going to make that same choice again because you chose yourself. And choosing yourself to be the healthiest you, that's the best gift you can give yourself. And that's what this Christmas season is all about. So take these tips, take these understandings of yourself, take these learnings, and give yourself the understanding that different doesn't equal bad. Different does equal a little bit of anxiousness, does equal a little bit of fear, can be scary, can need some courage, but it's not bad. And set yourself up for success so you wake up the next day and you're like, damn, I am glad how I showed up yesterday. I am glad how I was able to be. And that gratitude will go a long way. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you for tuning in. Try to be better tomorrow than we were today. At least we don't make it, we try. I love you. Have a great week, everybody.